everyone, it's Mya here and I'm back with another video. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're returning, much love. Welcome back to my channel. As y'all can tell from the title, this video is gonna be something a little different. We are officially starting our senior season series.
Rip me out the plastic, I've been acting brand new. He's acting like they running, they really ran through.
This series is like long overdue because I've been wanting to film college content for the longest and I just have not picked up my camera, and then I realized this is my last year to do so. So the series is here and it's gonna be tea because the content's coming, y'all. But as I can tell from the title, this is going to be an advice video. But as y'all know, you already know the schedule routine. Before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that bell to stay updated with all of my future content. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. We're gonna be doing a little advice video. Your girl's always prepared for her content. Always prepared. So I want this video to be more conversational. I just have like different topics. So we're gonna touch on academics, we're gonna touch on social life and involvement, we're gonna touch on the party scene. Ooh. We're gonna touch on roommate / dorm life, and then we're gonna touch on personal development in college. And like I said, this is gonna be conversational. I don't have any sentences written down, just bullet points about things that like I would like to touch on or mention in the video. So hopefully this video is helpful for everybody who's watching it. And yeah, let's get in it. Yeah. I just want to say, y'all, I'm also sick, so I'm very congested right now, and so if I sound like sick, it's because I am. But the first thing we're gonna get into is academics, and I'm gonna touch on professors. So I just want to say professors are probably gonna be one of the most important things in terms of your classes because they're the one who give you your grades. Some teachers are very harsh graders and then others are not. So take the time to get to understand your professor and their teaching style. You can get a sense of this when you receive your syllabus because a lot of teachers' personalities really shine through when you open that little packet and you look it through in the beginning of the class. That's gonna give you a sense of what it's like in terms of their grading style, office hours, etc., etc. And since I just mentioned office hours, I do want to say office hours is going to be your best friend. A lot of teachers sit in their office hours bored because no one shows up, so they're looking for students to come. So take advantage of office hours. If you have a question, if you're confused, better sooner than later. I will say that much, because don't wait until you're halfway through the semester, midterms come up, you don't know anything that's going on, and you have months of catching up to do. So the sooner you receive help, the better. So utilize your professors because they're there to help you. And 90% of the time they're probably sitting there bored. Secondly, develop close bonds with your professors because these are the same people who will write you them recommendations. And so build those authentic bonds with them. Even if you don't have something to go to office hours and learn, you could go there and be like, hey, what's goody, you know? And just get to know them on a personal level. Tell them a little bit more about yourself, your life goals and ambitions. Not only can they write your recommendations, but a lot of the time these teachers have connections. So if there's a specific field you want to get into, like let's say you're in psychology, a lot of the time your teacher might have a link to a psychology internship or opportunity for you to further explore and learn. So take advantage of getting to know your professors because a lot of people push that past them, but your professors are people just like you are and they have to go through the same thing you're going through. So understand that building those connections are going to be insanely important, and don't undermine that. Shoot them a little email before your class starts, as a matter of fact. In terms of classes, one thing I want to say, do not shy away from classes that you are not familiar with or that you're uncomfortable with the thought of. So you might have to be in arts, you might have to be in math, sciences, you name it. You're gonna have to do it all. So don't shy away from certain classes because I will say some classes, it might turn out to be your favorite thing ever. I'm gonna give y'all an example. Coming into Denison, you know, I needed some general education requirements, so I took a communications class. When I first entered Denison, I started as a psychology major. When I came in as a psych major, I was still filling out the psych classes, seeing how I liked it. But once I took this one communications class, I loved communications down to the T. I'm not gonna lie. I was sold on communications once I took that class, and I ended up making communications one of my majors. And so when I say don't shy away from these classes, it's not only about getting, you know, the credits for your major, but it's about gaining transferable skills, because I can take my skills from various classes that I've taken and apply it to a lot of real world and real life scenarios. Okay, so next thing up, your schedule. Your schedule in college is not like high school. You don't have block A, block B listed out for you and chosen. No, you pick your schedule. And I will say, choose wisely. I will say a college 8:30 and a high school 8:30 are two different 8:30s. So do not let it fool you, y'all. Do not let it get you. So when you're picking your schedule, choose based on who you are as a person and your preferences. If you know you're not a morning bird, you might want to try to get later classes. If you like to get up early, get the earlier classes. But a common mistake I've seen is people putting all their classes back to back, and then you're hungry. Did you not leave any room to grab some lunch? Some dessert maybe? Let's keep moving. I will say, let's go to planners and calendars. Y'all, I didn't start using Google Calendar until like last year, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a hot mess until I started using it. For me, Google Calendar has been my best friend, and I say that because if I ever have a meeting or an activity or some time blocked out for myself, I can always just simply list that on my calendar. I can get 10 minutes before reminders. I get 30 minutes before reminders. So you could set reminders before the event starts. Your event is listed on the calendar at the date and time. And so for me, this has been really helpful because I'm involved in a lot on campus. I have 2 jobs. I have a bunch of classes. I'm in student organizations and committees. So it's really hard to juggle all of these things without having some form of organization. The last thing I have in this section is majors. As I said before, I'm a communications and journalism double major. And let me just say, I've had quite the major shifts, okay? I came in as a psych major. I added dance as a major, so I was a psych and dance major. I decided that I didn't want to do psych and I wanted to do communications, so I became a communications and dance major. I was like, I kind of want another major that I feel like is gonna help add transferable skills into the area of work I want to get into. I decided to move dance down to a minor and add journalism because they had a lot of multimedia type things, which kind of fell hand in hand with my content creation in marketing skills. And so I added journalism as a second major and moved dance down to a minor. And I was like, girl, you don't have enough time to do all of this. Remove dance as a minor. And now I am where I am now, at a journalism and communications double major, and I'm really happy with my decision. I love my majors, and they definitely give me a lot of the skills that I'm looking for. And so what I will say is that if you're going into college undecided, or you're going into college feeling sure, and then you have a bump in the road and your major changes, don't shy away from that, because it's all about, college is a place for exploration. People will knock you for not having it figured out, but a lot of the time it's people who explore that have great outcomes, because you're finding something that caters directly to you and what you're passionate about. And as long as you're passionate, the money will always flow in. I stand on that, okay? So keep an open mind when it comes to majors, because college is a place to figure it out. The next thing I'm going to talk about is clubs, organizations, and Greek life. First thing I want to say about clubs, y'all, a lot of schools, especially mine, at Denison, we have so many clubs and organizations. Find a club and organization that you're interested in. And if there is something that you have not explored, that you've been dying to experience, now is the time to do it. You're paying tuition, you're spending your 4 years here, you better get your money's worth. If there is something that you want to do that you have not gotten to experience, I will say this, 4 years does go by fast, and people did not lie about that. Another thing to note too is if there's something that you're passionate about or something that you're interested in that your campus does not yet have, you do have the ability to start an organization. And I don't feel like people say it enough. My school has a club for like everything. And I know not all schools put this out there, but if a club is made, it's because people have made the effort to get the club started. So if there's something that you're interested in and you know other students might be interested in it as well, go ahead and make the club. Add it to your resume while you at it, okay? Add it to your resume while you at it. And there's also the Greek life side of things. I joined Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated in my spring semester of my junior year, so spring 25, and it has been a really great experience for me. Every organization's different. Every organization has different principles and communities. And so when looking into Greek organizations, and this could be a whole separate video in itself, make sure you find an organization that genuinely aligns with who you are as a person and the things that you want to get out of it. There are opportunities on your campuses to learn more about these organizations, to connect with the people in the community, and to hopefully, if you're interested, become a member and contribute to the communities in the way that your organization does. So that's what I'll say about Greek life. On-campus jobs. I currently have 2 on-campus jobs, and I highly suggest doing a job on campus only because you work directly with your communities and various offices and staff. These can, 1, be the people who write your recommendations, but 2, they're going to teach you a lot about being in a professional space, which is very needed when you're going into the world, going into corporate spaces, etc. On my campus, I work with our Office of First Year Experience, so I help do the social media for that, but I've also worked at some of the events and stuff, and I'd like to do this because I love giving back to my community, and coming in as a freshman, I had a hard time, so I kind of found a place and a purpose within my job, which is why I've been doing it, which is why I'll be doing it for all 4 years of my college experience. This will be my 4th year. And then I also work with my wellness center, Hoagland Wellness Center, as a wellness ambassador. I've done a little bit more on the social media side and the backhand stuff for events. And I'm very passionate about wellness. And so a lot of people I connect with are also passionate about wellness. And I've learned a lot, not only about mental health, but physical wellness, financial wellness, etc. So it's important to utilize the jobs that they have because it can benefit you in numerous ways. Next is the party scene. Drinking and drugs. 1, biggest thumb of rule: never leave your cup unmonitored. Do not leave your cup somewhere and then come back and pick it up because your drink could be spiked. Okay. 2, know your limit, and don't let no one force you to consume anything past your limit. You know your body better than anyone else does. So if someone tells you to drink more, or take this, and you say no, you stand on business. Don't let nobody force you to do something that you do not want to do. At the end of the day, you are responsible for you, and you know yourself better than anyone. So if you know something is too much, don't go past your limit. Peer pressure is a very common thing in college, and a lot of people kind of feel like a little bit of FOMO if they don't participate in things, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, like, if you are uncomfortable with something or you're feeling uneasy, don't feel peer pressured or don't feel obligated to partake in stuff just because everyone else is doing it. Because I kid you not, I had major FOMO my freshman year, especially when it came to parties, and I was always at parties. And then you come to realize that, like, it's all the same thing. Same music, same vibe, same people, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you don't really miss out on much. And I high-key kind of caught on to this, like, a little later into my sophomore year, where I was just like, I'd much rather have a self-care day than go out to another party again. And I started to not feel pressured or like obligated to show up to stuff, but also just making sure that, like, I showed up for myself, because it's gonna be very important in college. You're gonna always try to show up for everyone else, but showing up for yourself is gonna be one of the most important things you do. And then last thing I'm touching on in terms of partying is have a community. A lot of people be showing up to parties alone, and depending on where you party, that can be a concern. So when you're in a party, I always encourage someone to go with at least one other person, or to go with a group of people, or to find a community, because you want to remain safe throughout your experience. The next section we're going to get into, and it's probably going to be a little bit more on the shorter side, but roommates and living style. The whole idea behind roommates, especially in a college setting, is you want to room with somebody who reflects your living style and habits. If you're a really tidy person and you move with someone who's extremely messy, it's just not going to work out. You know what I'm saying? So when you're picking your roommate, find someone who has very similar living habits, because it will make your life a lot easier. Because if you're both tidy, you never really have an issue with how the other person is living. So one thing we did, me and my freshman year roommate, is we did like a roommate agreement, and we kind of talked a little bit about our expectations, like cleaning days, who are we comfortable with having in our room and at what times, blah, 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 blah. And this helped us to be aligned and understand our expectations for each other. And then the next thing I will say, this is very general, but create a homey environment, y'all. Like, some people, like, they move in and their walls bland. It be giving like jail cell. Y'all, decorate your room, make it feel like home. If you want to pick up pictures of your family, if you want to put some cool stuff on your bed, like cool bedding ideas. And the last section we're going to get into is personal development, and this is going to be really short, but it's to not compare your experience. Everyone's college experience is going to be very different, and I think I kind of learned this the hard way, because I used to compare my experience to everyone else's so often. But people sometimes come with friends. Some people have to make friends from the ground up. Some people had really great educations before coming to college, so they're super prepared on their classes. Some people are not and may have to work extra hard. Some people come in and get internships off the back. Some people got to work really hard to get those internships. Some people got really big friend groups. Some people only got 1 or 2 friends. College is going to be different for everyone, because everyone has their own life and own experience to kind of live through. The beauty in your college experience is to find one that's unique to yourself and make the best of it. And so my biggest piece of advice that I want to give to y'all and in this video is stay truly authentic to who you are, in your experiences, because it's your chapter, it's your story to write. And I think ever since I realized that, I've done a lot of a better job at carving out an experience that is more catered to who I am, what I believe in, my morals, what I want to achieve. And because of that, I've been able to have a college experience that kind of reflects some of the things that I want. Has college gone 100% the way I want? Absolutely freaking not. And I tell you, the amount of time that I'm pissed about that is pretty often. But I also have come to terms with the fact that college is what you make it. So that's a wrap for this video, y'all. I hope y'all learned a little something. Like I said, I wanted this to be more of a chit chat, like give advice type thing. And so I hope like you guys learned something new. If y'all have any questions, comment it down below. If y'all want to talk to me personally, y'all can also DM or contact any one of my social medias in the description box down below, or any recommendations for this senior season series. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thank you if you stayed to the end. I hope this video was extremely helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that bell so you can stay updated every time I upload a new video. And I hope to see y'all in the next one. Much love. Till next time.